How he is? Mad windy still. Just went for a walk. Had a great night's sleep last night. I hope you did too. It was very cathartic, that video I made last night, from outlining that it's kind of moved into stage two of, this unfolding thing. The deep state are foisting upon us under the umbrella term of a pandemic. Someone found a video I made in 2011 that I'd actually predicted that the psychopathic control grid would probably implement at some stage a pandemic scare and lock down people in order to control and get what they wanted. And it's funny, but here we are. But yeah. So, now that we're kind of like out of the miasma of mystery, even though we had a general idea that they were wrecking the economy for particular reasons, neoliberalism has kind of failed, and the deep state has a vindictive hatred of the people who voted for both Trump and Brexit, and that's who they're really attacking. It's almost like a weird punishment thing going on there. So, but they'll punish everyone because they see all human beings as animals, even the ones who serve them. And I just was put an idea out there today on who actually is in the deep state. And they say that there are people behind the scenes, you don't really know their names. I don't know if that's so true, to be honest with you. I think, whatever weird system they have, they kind of want you to know them. It's like who knowing who is in the deep state. Like, I don't believe any celebrities really are. They're just lackeys and toe rags. And the ones who might seem like they are, like the George Clooney's, who would probably be the one, if you were to say one of them who's an insider on the deep state, because he chairs things like the Trilateral Commission, I would put him there. Maybe. He'd be the nearest one, and maybe Geldof, but that'd be it. The rest wouldn't be. Like, people say, oh, Jay-Z and all that. They're not. They're just lackeys and this kind of thing. Bono and the rest of them. They're just toe rags. Now, you could say, you can definitely pin certain names up there as being legitimately part of the deep state. Hillary Clinton, no doubt about that. I don't even think her husband is, but she is. Barack Obama has to be, because every single top political meeting, even though he's not president of the United States anymore, he is there instead of Trump, as if they still recognize him as the president of the United States. This is what they think of your democracy. You have to remember that. People say, like, this is what, when you demonstrate freedom of choice, whether it was Ireland voting against the Lisbon Treaty, Britain voting for Brexit, America voting for Trump, oh, they will punish you. They will punish you like you would not believe. They hate you for that. And the reason why they don't believe in plebiscites, they don't want the plebs voting. And if you do, you're told to go back and get the right result for them. They hate democracy for you and me, but they have democracy among themselves. Like, at these things like the Council of Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergs and the CFR and the Trilaterals, they have their little votes. And what will we fuck them up the arse with this year? And they vote on that, and then they can go back saying, well, we believe in democracy. Well, democracy practice as it was in the forum in ancient Rome or ancient Greece, it was among the elites. But remember, the elites of ancient Greece and Rome were not just politicians. They were poets, artists, philosophers, scientists. They weren't people like Barack Obama, who's a smooth-talking liar who's full of word salad. They weren't people like, Hillary Clinton, who squirts on camera when she's told that Muammar Gaddafi has been anally raped to death with a bayonet without trial. No, they're not like these people. These are vermin compared to what they had back then. All you have to do is look at the enduring legacy of ancient Greece and Rome to know they have the right people, in the forums, in the symposiums, then making the decisions. Not like we have today, the trash of the earth. Now, it's stage two is here. Like I said, they want to basically get human beings to destroy themselves. And they do that every so often. The Great Depression in America and in Europe was a previous one. So was World War One, marching to machine guns and stuff like that for your king and country and all that crap. And the fallen, not the dead, the fallen. And they sanitize these things by making them seem like an almighty quest or a great, a great thing. And you have a situation now where, people, like I said last night, alcoholism is going through the roof, and drug addiction. How do they medicate the working classes and the middle class nowadays? Weed, booze, and Netflix. And the booze is running out, and so it's harder and harder for them to get their weed. So the Netflix is all they have left, and they will obey the master on the TV telling them what to do. And loads of people, I'm hearing loads of reports of people falling off the wagon who were been long-term non-drinkers, or alcoholics hadn't touched the stuff in years, falling off because they're all socially isolated, and they're bored, and they're depressed, and they're hearing the bad. They're watching the news and believing everything the BBC and CNN is telling them, and yeah, so it's terrible. It's awful, but this is the plan, and be thankful that you're on this tribe, whatever we are, who's aware of what's going on, and we're not down in the city park screaming and shouting and waving flags. We're not doing social distance dancing numbers that's uploaded to, like, aren't they all great, all dancing together 3 meters apart to some stupid pop song? No, we're in a much better position. We can just basically observe but not be a part of it. It's this is the first day. Now, I wasn't like drinking like mental, like a bottle of beer, 2 bottles of beer a night for the last couple of weeks, and like decent quality beer, not just like piss. And I haven't drunk now for about 48 hours. Not romantic. I feel better already, even though I wasn't drinking that much. I just feel better already, and I'm glad I did. And I've changed my diet. I want to. What I've noticed is still plenty of meat and protein and stuff like that available in the supermarkets. I'm going to like stick with like that kind of Atkinsy paleo diet, just the kind of, it's always been good for my, and not so much you do lose a lot of weight in it, but I found it's been very good for the brain. And as you all know, I'm absolutely seafood and fish mad, and that's my favorite food of all. I'm going to stay away from things like make you sluggish, like pasta and stuff like that, as delicious as that is. Now, and so yeah, it's good to have a plan. We have a plan now. We have a plan. We're going to keep our mind sharp. We're going to communicate as much as we can with nature. Cut back completely or severely on your drinking, and you know, and observe and look. Another one I've been doing is when I go out now in public, I dress a lot more smarter. I don't wear a suit or anything, but I do things like I zip up my jacket so it's not blowing around in the wind. I wear a nice jumper, a t-shirt, and a nice pair of trousers and nice pair of boots. I don't go out and my painter's jeans covered in paint and old sneakers anymore. I want to distinguish myself apart from the masses. I'm seeing them now. I'm seeing so many people deteriorating at the moment. This is from the fact that they have no focus in their lives and they're sitting at home drinking, and they're looking dishevelled and stuff like that. And that's I want to feel better about myself in a deteriorating world, and I'm not going, deteriorating civilization that's been deliberately downgraded. And I think it's good for your own personal morale and things like that. And the regular exercising thing, very important. Hobbies. Switch off the fucking TV. Don't dwell on fear porn. Don't think that the elites have all these special powers. They don't. They're just assholes with money, and they can pay for to to fucking rag on you. That's all they can do. And again, don't make the most very important one of all. Don't make a fucking exhibition of yourself. Going down the street saying, oh, the lockdown is by Illuminati and all this. Just don't do that. Don't go protesting and waving. It's my right as an Irishman. Wave a fucking flag. No, 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 no. Just go. Just what people do. People can go to the fucking beach. Go to the mountains. Don't bring attention to yourself by doing a song and dance. Learn how to spend less money. Those of you who are on furlough payments right now, now's a good time if you're planning to learn how to do a hobby or something like that, or painting or sculpture. Now's the time to invest in that. invest in those kinds of things, pottery and potter's wheel, and stock up on the things you'll need to do that. Your tools. I think tools are always something very important to buy, and tools are very affordable these days. And if you go to, okay, they have the tools in the cheap discount stores. A lot of them are shite, but not all of them are shite. Some of them are quite good. And learn how to be a bit more self-sufficient. I was planning to hire an electrician to wire one half of the house. I ended up doing it myself. Now, is it a professional job? Nope. Is it safe? Yes. Yes, it's safe. But it's not a professional job. I didn't drill holes through the walls and channel out things. I ran things on the surface, on the cable wires on the surface with metal tubes, and going to a circuit breaker that's properly rated for the load that's going to take. Yep, I did that myself. It's not a professional job. It's good enough and it's safe, and that's the important thing. That's the kind of thing to do. Little small things like that. And you'd be amazed how much sense of power that gives you. How much sense of independence it gives you, rather than depending on the latest news from the government or the fucking civil servants to tell you what your destiny is. To control and to take charge of your own destiny, even in a small, tiny little way. You'll be amazed how much better that makes you feel, because then you're one step away from your manacles, you're one step away from slavery, and it's a lovely feeling. It's absolutely beautiful, and especially when you go to sleep at night, you find yourself sleeping better. Now, sleep cycles are still very problematic. Last night I went to bed about 2 and I slept till 11, and it felt not too bad at all. I want to try and get to bed now around midnight and get up a bit earlier, like about 7 or 8, if I can do it, but that's going to take a bit of effort. At the moment, it's difficult. Now, speaking of these sleep cycle problems we're having, there's all kinds of funny stuff going on with the Earth's magnetic field. It seems to be acting up and acting the bitch, and the bollocks all over the place. And this could be indeed, along with the solar changes, affecting our sleep cycles. And this may it's especially affecting things like nature and stuff like that. And people are quick to say, oh, it's 5G, it's 5G. No, there's real changes in the Earth's the Earth's magnetic field. And there's also a lot of seismic stuff going on. The cosmic stuff, of course, the sun is going through its solar minimum. And there's also the coming into its solar minimum. And there's also lots of cosmic stuff, like what's ever left of Comet Atlas is just passing us right now in pieces. And it happened on the new moon as well. So, there's lots of factors involved. Don't be just like, oh, it's 5G, it's 5G, it's 5G. One of the problems I have with these 5G, what do you call them, activists, is they'll be using 5G next year too. It's like whatever. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'm just looking at the leaves on the trees. They're really huge this year. The sycamore leaves are massive. They're like palm leaves, massive, and even on the little trees. And so observation of nature, very good one. If you see a species of bird you don't normally see, take time out to examine it. If you see, like me here, the sycamore tree is like the size of a palm leaf, you take time out to notice that. You take time out to notice there was a beautiful sunset yesterday evening. No, the day before yesterday. And you notice that. You take time. You observe the colours of the setting sun, the reflected light, the demarcation between the pink and the purple of the clouds. You start to appreciate the things that really matter, and you will see that and feel that you are in a better position. The worst thing you can be is at home watching the news, watching the sea, waiting for and these people, these normies, are never going to change. Now, some of them will. Some of them will have a thing in their life that they may have the death of a partner or something like that, or something bad usually happens, and it shakes them out of the NPC world. But or whatever normie world, I don't think there's any hope for NPCs. Normies there is, but there's some of them. But NPCs there's no internal dialogue there. There's nothing in there, so they're literally just robots who are programmed by the mass media and politicians and things like that. There's no hope there. There's no point in even getting depressed about them or, But the thing is to be wary of them because they're fucking dangerous. It depends what program is put into them. And that's why another thing is where you must keep a low profile in your street, in your neighborhood, and stop bringing attention to yourself as the one who, they're so quick to say, call it a hoax. Now, always know that we're not losing because you'll always be judged by your good works in the end. I mean, you look at Morrissey, the way the media has viciously attacked him, and these nauseating woke pop stars saying things like, I used to be his biggest fan, but now I won't have his records anymore. Get the fuck out of here. And then you look at his YouTube channel, and his songs have millions of hits. His charts go right to his albums go right to the top of the charts when released. He's as big as ever. And yet you have all these like lefty songwriters and politicians and these horrible woke progressive indie bands going, oh, Morrissey, he's fallen from grace and all this crap. Meanwhile, look at him, he's like he's high on the hog. That's because most people will judge him according to his works. And I always remember that, always notice that. Always notice that the mainstream the mainstream is only popular because it has a monopoly on the lives of others. But if the mainstream had to sit alone with all other forms of media, you would see how mediocre and how unpopular it is. I mean, I've no doubt that YouTube definitely have trimmed my videos over the years, because in a small country like Ireland, they wouldn't want me on the first page. So they want the state broadcaster RT and stuff like that. And you look at some of these RT videos, and it's like, it's the 300 views and stuff like that after 2 days, and I'll have like 4,000. This is like ridiculous. And they only get big views if it's like a celebrity, that's someone that's very popular, is on a show or something, or a band. Other than that, no one cares. And you'll find that's repeated all across Maine. Like, it's probably quite feasible that the alternative media, what we see with the David Icke thing, is bigger than the mainstream. And journalists, being what they are extremely jealous individuals. And that's really why they shut down his YouTube channel, because David Icke was bigger than the BBC. And that's really what bothers them. And so, but take that as hope. Don't take that as something to depress you. It just shows you how fragile their little game is. And they live in absolute terror of too many people figuring it out, which they won't happen anyway. But they live in terror of it. So they're devoted 24/7 to brainwashing the society, and they still can't do it completely. And the fact that someone like Morrissey is bigger than ever, and David Icke gets those hits on that interview, shows that they're on so many ways they're catastrophically failing. These community support fuckers on or community standards fuckers on Facebook, with their purple hair. I'm offended. I mean, they literally cannot keep up with us, because it's not that we're winning or at war or anything like that. It's just like, humanity prevails in the face of stupidity. And they're ridiculous, these people, when you start to see them for what they are. And they know they're ridiculous too. And there's, all you have to do is look at things like, the pizza that really was real, that whole paedophile carry on, and Jimmy Savile. And you see how debased and putrid they all are. And again, fuck them, we have clarity of focus. We know what the game is, and we're not on the chessboard. We're not on the black squares. We're not on the white squares. We're not on the chessboard. We're off doing our own thing, but we're not causing. This is what they want. This is why they infiltrate all the movements. First of all, they want a movement. And what's great about this alt scene is there is no movement. There's no one in charge. There's no thing anyone can pin their colours to. There's no working group. There's no minutes. There's no framework document for what you should. We just ignore it. We just do our own thing, and this drives them absolutely fucking insane. It drives them insane. And this is why they every so often they try these groups like Reset or Occupy or something or other to try and get people to join in need to join a scene, and to and that way they can control them completely. And Russell Brand was a classic. I mean, how anyone who claims to have any insane intelligence can follow him, you know. And then telling everybody to vote Labour. They all go, Russell says we must vote Labour. I saw them with my own eyes. These ones claiming to be woken up doing that. That's what, Russell saying, this kind of thing. And like when I was doing the automatic checkout yesterday, and I was going, Macapista, making fun of Alex Jones, those types of videos. That's great fun. That's like a great way of dispelling the spell. It's like parodying it from every angle, that kind of thing. Like, embrace every moment of satire and taking the piss that you can, because it is the greatest fortification your consciousness will ever have. And it works. God damn, it works, because even if it doesn't work in the real world, it works inside your consciousness, because your subconscious mind feels secure. And that's why you look around at people and they don't look secure right now, but your subconscious mind knows you're secure, and therefore that has physiological and mental health and biological health benefits. If you're insecure, it tears you apart. And so that's, and a great way to offset any insecurities is to mock at it and laugh at it. Like, as I always do, that I've been doing that for a while now, and I just find it very funny. And yeah, so song in your heart, in fact, if they can't take a joke. See you next time.